You've told the story maybe tens of thousands of times. What's something about that whole phrase that maybe you haven't said as much?
Advertising is supposed to try really hard to put something in your head. It's try to put some adjective or some memorable thing in your head. And Got Milk reduced it to, fuck, I'm out of milk.
Hey, I'm you, from the future.
You're me?
I know. Drink this. It's working! Keep drinking! We did it!
Got milk?
You know, I might be out of milk. Am I out of milk? What's going on? My name is Jeff Goodby, and I'm excited to be honored at Oakland Digital's Inspiration Awards. Well, advertising is something that I probably wouldn't have really considered a good idea when I was young. And partly it was because I didn't really ever think I could do it. You know, a lot of things that you do in life are about possibility and whether you think you can ever do them. My mom taught me to draw, so I love drawing. My mom is an artist, she's a painter. And so a lot of my visual sense came from early days painting and drawing silly things. I can remember her hand touching my hand and like teaching me to do it. It's very moving. My life was sort of a combination of her and my dad, who was a business person. So I think having a combination of those two things was good. I think you should be inspired by everything that happens to you and try to gather in as much stuff as you can and then recombine it. You know, I think that recombining things is often what makes things interesting. So you take the things that you saw today and recombine them with things you already know. You know, put things together. You know, T.S. Eliot said that poetry was taking things that are vastly far apart and putting them together under high heat, you know. And I think that's what you do as a creative person. You take silly things that are, you know, you take something that is taken seriously, usually, and make fun of it, and that's good. You take something that, you know, is beautiful and you degrade it. You know, you take something that's degraded and you make it beautiful. So I think many times you're doing things from two sides. Both advertising and tech get a lot of trouble about not being diverse enough. And, you know, it's true. I mean, you know, if you look at advertising, it's one of the most formative kind of media in the world. And yet, for some reason, as I said, people are not concerned about not being involved in the creation of their own image, you know? And so, one of the things that I've done is to try to get involved with the One Club in New York. And I created this, along with Jimmy Smith, who's a former creative director at Chiat Day. We put together this thing called Where Are All the Black People? It's a day in New York where people of any color can bring their book in and show it. So we put together like all these people from all the big agencies in New York, and you can show your book. And it's been done for 4 straight years now. It's a very warm thing. People send nice notes to us about that, and it's great. I've seen Oakland go through a lot of stuff, but I think that it's a really good time there now. I love the fact that my kids have grown up in a place where they see lots of different kinds of people and lots of different levels of income strata and so on. And that's been invaluable. And they've all taken it in, and you know, they're different people because of it. Talk Read Sing started out because George Halverson at Kaiser Permanente called us and said, you know, I would like to do something to help parents understand, especially lower income parents, understand that it's important to talk, read, or sing to your child from birth to 3 years old. You know, what could we do about that? And, you know, we have to do something that actually is different from, you know, a public service announcement, or, you know, what if we actually tried to do it right at the juncture between the parent and the child? You know, like get right to that place where they actually interact with each other and say something to them. How would we say something? The medium right between parent and child is the clothing you put on them, the interaction you have with them. So they said, what if we put instructions for taking care of your child and talking to him or her and singing to him or her right on their clothing, and we just gave that clothing free to them when they left the hospital. after the kid was born. And I went, that's great, but it's going to have to be beautiful enough that the parents don't feel like, you know, we're talking at them. And everybody loved the idea, and Hillary in particular loved it, and she was like, we're going to find a way to make this a national thing. And so she's now, you know, tied in with Mark Benioff at Salesforce, and I think we're going to get a lot more clout through Hillary to do this. It's probably the biggest change that happened in our lifetime. When you think about it, the internet is the biggest thing that happened, and being able to share things digitally, it totally changes the way that everybody behaves, and the way that we get information, and the way that we act all day, the way we parcel our time out, you know, what we do to learn about what. We actually have had to and continue to have to learn different ways they're using the medium. We have a motto here, make stuff people care about, and I think that's really the way forward. You know, it used to be make beautiful things on TV or make something on the radio, but now I think it's make something that people care about no matter where it is or what it is, and make a difference.